At a time in my life where I thought everything was coming together, I suffered enormous losses. Some losses were tangible, material things, while others were intangible, like dreams and love. These experiences have made me look at how we can deal with this heavy aspect of life and of the painful emotions that go with it. It's interesting to me how in the modern world we devote so much of our attention to gains, to collecting the things we want. But it seems that most of the time we think of loss only in terms of resistance, how to avoid losing what we love. And yet while gains may not materialize, the one thing that's certain in this life is that we will experience loss. We enter the world with nothing, and when we die we carry nothing with us. And so loss is a fundamental part of life, but when it comes it can be devastating. The pain we feel is greatest for what we love the most often people close to our heart, but sometimes it can be the loss of a dream or of a house that means a lot to us. This pain is grief, which is an important part of the human experience. One thing I've learned in this lifetime is that emotional wounds are just as real as physical harm, in terms of the lasting effects and of the need for proper healing. Just as a badly set fracture will cause difficulty thereafter, an emotional trauma that was not healed will impair life by the weight that we carry in our heart. The difference between the physical and the emotional, of course, is that whereas physical trauma usually requires assistance from a specialist, emotional healing requires only that we engage the natural function that humans have to heal themselves from emotional trauma. Human beings have emotions for a reason. They are a motivating energy which keeps us going. Without emotions, we live in a mental world where nothing really matters. When it comes to painful experiences which cause emotional disturbance or trauma, our emotional response is the means for us to heal from that trauma. Emotions are an energy which is meant to flow through us. We're not meant to store it, we're meant to express and release it by doing whatever it makes us feel like doing. In this way we get the feeling that the painful experience created out of our body and clear our energetic field of the trauma so that we don't have to carry it round with us as a burden. As we're equipped with a natural function to heal from emotional trauma, one might expect us to be free from emotional problems. After all, if you have a self-healing ability, why would you not use it? Obviously, my observations are focused in England, where I come from, and there it's not really the done thing to let it all out. But sometimes the strong feelings we have demand that we let them out, because if we don't, we stuff them down inside us. And contrary to popular belief, they don't disappear. A person can find themselves angry at someone they haven't seen for years, or perhaps they find it too painful to discuss an event that took place even decades ago. These emotional triggers indicate strong emotions that we're holding on to, even though by doing so we hold on to the pain we feel. The intensity of that pain dictates the extent to which it affects us in our life. But all the time we block our emotions, we are adding to that energy. And there comes a point where the body cannot cope, and we can get ill, and that illness can even prove fatal. So it's not without good reason that some cultures devote special attention to healing from emotional trauma, in particular grieving for the losses we experience in life. In one sense, emotional healing is quite simple. You just need to allow yourself to connect and feel, and then react to express and release what you have inside until the energy settles and it's no longer an issue. However, the reason this is not easy is because many of us are not in touch with our emotions. In my case, I became aware I had a huge amount of suppressed emotional energy only after the loss of my partner, my dreams, my future, and everything else. But having realized the need for emotional release, I found I couldn't do it due to a conditioned response whereby I suppressed my emotions. And very often, this is the difficulty. If you have stored emotions, you will also tend to suppress emotion that comes up in the present to avoid triggering what you have inside that you don't want to feel. And so in this way, you prevent the very thing that could heal you because of protective mechanisms you've put in place to avoid feeling the pain. Our protective mechanisms are what we need to deal with in order to connect with our pain. But the other side to the equation is whether we allow ourselves to unload the energy by fully expressing what we're feeling. And there's another issue here which is very prevalent in England, and that is the fear of what other people think of us, which causes us to modify our behavior to fit in with ideas of what is considered normal or appropriate. In England, strong displays of emotion are rarely seen in public, which shapes an attitude that amounts to emotions must be kept under control. Pull yourself together is an English expression we use when someone is expressing strong emotion that makes us feel uncomfortable. But actually, stuff it all down would be more honest, which is what is really being asked. This social pressure is another obstacle we face in trying to heal by letting what is inside of us come out. If you have pain that has not healed and you choose to heal, you have to feel it. And to do that, you have to appreciate what it is you've lost.
When I look at all these choices that you have, there's one that, for some reason, and I don't have a logical explanation for you, I can only say to you, that's the one that calls on me. And the one that pulls the most is to go with your girlfriend. And as I said, I don't have a logical explanation for it, but I feel that that's the one that you're being encouraged to consider. First of all, I feel that there is love there to be had. Love as in real love, not love as in a list of criteria that is an intellectual idea of what love is.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about that a little bit last time.
Yeah.
It feels like there is love to be had here, real love. Maybe that will be difficult for you to buy into or to feel or sense or know in the beginning, but it feels like it's there.
Here I am, floating in emerald sea. Keep me dancing, keep me as still as can be. And I try to keep the balance right. And I try, but it feels like wasted time. But these heavy hands, they're pulling me down on my chest, latching on, coloring all of my flesh, quietly feels like wasted time. Feels like wasted time. Say goodnight. I know that I'm swallowed in sea. We collide, colors that devour me. Just say goodnight. I'm already down, and I cry already down. Already down, and I cry already down. And I try, and I try, but it feels like wasted.
I feel that choosing that will give you an opportunity in perhaps a way you haven't totally grasped with your mind. You have ideas about it, but you haven't totally grasped it, I think. And so that's what it says to me. That's the choice that your soul is encouraging you to make.
We all have things in life that we struggle with, things that trouble us. These aspects of our being create challenges or send us in certain directions by influencing the choices we make. From a spiritual perspective, I see these restrictions as being part of the journey. They focus our experiences in some way, causing us to delve into particular aspects of human nature. In my case, the journey is about exploring emotions and discovering their importance. One of the best ways for a soul to learn about the importance of something is to live a life where that thing is restricted or absent, so as to understand its significance. So far, I've lived a life with extreme emotional blockages, and my soul has collected the experience of what it means when a person does not allow themselves to feel and express. What I've come to realize about emotional healing is that it comes down to whether we're being true to ourselves or controlled by our fears. Human beings have emotions for a reason. They enable us to heal and to engage with the full experience of life. We are our emotions. They're part of who we are in this lifetime. To suppress them is to suppress ourselves, and so the issue is really about being who you are. When life experiences throw up strong feelings, do you flow with the energy and react? Or do you turn away from yourself in fear of what it will feel like, of what other people will think of you? We have this choice in every moment, and we can always choose ourselves. I believe this is the key to a happy and fulfilling life, but it's also the key to recovering from the pain and loss that's an essential part of the human experience. To be human is to have a mind, which gives us the potential to learn and to understand the world around us. The mind is responsible for keeping the physical body alive and secure, as it deals with the practical concerns of living. But the mind is not what connects us to the experience of life. For that, humans are endowed with a feeling perception that we call emotions. These feelings allow our living energy to flow through us, animating our being towards full expression of the unique person we are in this lifetime. These feelings open up the channels to our higher consciousness so that we can be guided by our soul, a vast store of wisdom and knowledge. As I've come to see, life is a game that's most rewarding when you know the rules. Through a process of self-awareness, we can come to see what our soul has chosen to explore in this lifetime, and thereby see our challenges in a different light. In this way, we can take hold of the things that trouble us, find out what they mean and how we can deal with them, so that we can live well and become all that we can be. To suppress our emotional energy is to unplug our connection to our soul and to reduce all of life to a mental exercise. This is what I've learned so far about emotions. I encourage you to be emotional, to feel and express all that life gives you, because my experience tells me that, even if you get everything you want, without emotions you cannot truly be happy.